Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a palette bingo with the trio from Oden's Eye. This is their second most recent release, and I'm doing this video in collaboration with a friend here on YouTube. Her name is Jessi Ruiz. I'm going to link her down below, her channel, her Instagram. Jessi's a super sweet girl. I really enjoy talking with her. I enjoy watching her videos. I don't remember when or how I found her channel. I think it might have been either a palette review, maybe the Verona Love and Death, or it might have been when I was looking into panning. I'm not sure. Her channel is a lot of indie brands. She does a fantastic winged eyeliner, epic. And she also does a lot of panning projects. She does multiple different panning projects, and then she'll do update videos. Jessi and I chat over on Instagram. She's a very sweet girl, and I've enjoyed getting to know her. When I suggested that we do a collaboration video together, I was trying to think of what palettes we both have, because her collection is larger than mine. And I remembered that both of us had bought the trio from Oden's Eye. So I thought, why don't we do that? It'll just be a lot of fun. These palettes, I have opinions on all three of them. If you've watched my channel recently, you know what those thoughts are. And I kind of bought them to be used together, so I thought it'd be really fun to do a bingo with them. The way that a palette bingo works is that usually about 5 shades are randomly generated from the palette, and you have to use those 5 shades to create an eye look. So because there are 3 palettes, we chose to do 2 palettes from each, so now we have 6 shades. Jessi randomly selected the numbers using an online number generator, and then she sent them over to me. So let me show you the shades that were selected for today's look. In the Planet Spirit palette, which is Oden's Eye X Betty Jean or Batty Bean, the numbers that we got were these 2. So this is called Kindred, and then this is called Sanctuary. Then in the Sea Talk palette, which is their collaboration with Lauren from Lauren My Beauty, this is my favorite palette of the 3. The shades that were chosen were Mermaid Scale and Iridescent Shell. Both of these are shimmers. This one's more of a topper shade. It's a very light formula that just goes over top. This is the Flora Story palette with Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun, and the shades that we got out of this palette are Sage and Best Buds. So let me tell you my plan. My thought is to use the light green shimmer on my inner corner, then the light green matte in the middle, and then the dark pinkish reddish matte in the outer corner. Then I'm going to put on some shimmers, and on the lower lash line I'll do like blue into purple. That's my thought. I don't know how it's going to work. I have had these shades pulled for a little while, and I've been trying to find a day to film this video. Let's just get right to it. I'm going to zoom you in, get started with priming my eyes. Everything that I'm using is linked below in the description box. I was thinking of doing a music overlay for this look because I do expect my little ones to wake up, but right now they're sleeping, so I'm going to take advantage of that and just chat with you guys a bit. If it becomes a problem, I'll shift to music overlay. This is a flat brush, and I've started with the shade Best Buds in the Flora Story palette. Now this picks up really beautifully, but I'm going to spray it because I don't want fallout. Even though I don't really have face product on, I just don't feel like dealing with fallout everywhere. So I'm putting this in my inner crease. I like the shimmers of this palette. I think I like the shimmers more than I like the mattes. I just find that the mattes are a little bit dusty on me. But I'm going to lay this down in my inner crease. Now I'm moving into Sage with the same palette. This is a Blend Bunny B2 brush. And I'm going to put Sage in the middle of my crease. And I'm going to go in pretty lightly with these mattes. Oden's Eye mattes have a lot of pigmentation and a lot of color payoff, and because I don't have the transition tones that I might like to use, I'm going to go in lightly, and I can always build it up. Now once it's laid down in about the middle of my crease, I'm wiping off that brush, and I'm going to blend it a little bit into the shimmer, try to get some overlap but not too much. Take the flat brush that I used for the shimmer and drag it onto the matte. I'm so curious to see what Jessi does with these colors. I'm really not sure. Like, this was a bit challenging for me just because of the shades that were chosen. I'm really curious to see what Jessi does. I can't wait to watch her video. In addition to linking Jessi's channel and her socials and whatnot, I'm also going to link her video for today, so you guys can head over and check out her channel, check out her personality, very sweet girl, but also see what she does with these colors and see how they how that varies from whatever I'm doing with them. I'm keeping the B2 brush from Blend Bunny and going into Sanctuary, and I'm going to put this in my outer crease and my outer corner. Now this green matte into Sanctuary is a pretty risky idea because it could easily become mud. So I'm going to be very careful about where I lay down Sanctuary and make sure that I overlap just a little bit with the green, and it's going to become a brownish red color. Maybe a bit of a purple hue, but I don't want to go crazy. I wish There are no transition tones in any of these palettes, not really. One good thing about Oden's Eye is that you can gently work at the edges and kind of turn it into its own transition tone because it can buff out pretty lightly and the colors generally remain pretty true, where when you're buffing it out you don't end up with strange undertones on the whole. So that's what I'm doing with this pink color. I'm just gently working at the edge and then wiping off the brush and then going back in and wiping off the brush. And when I get to where that green hits it, I'm a little apprehensive that I work the edges of the green but not drag them over into the pink. So I'm gonna have the green blended out, wipe off the brush, blend it out again, etc. And then the same task with the pink. And then where they meet, I'm just going in really, really carefully in that tiny space and working them together as well. Okay, now it's time for some shimmers. I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to take the shade Iridescent Shell within the Sea Talk palette. I'm sorry, I guess I didn't mention it. I took that pink and I carried it further onto my lid space so it covers more of the space because the Iridescent Shell color is definitely a topper shade. I'm going to place that on most of my lid, almost all of it. I'm going to bring it all the way to the inner corner here and I'm going to leave a little bit of the outer matte alone. This is such an interesting shadow. In the pan it looks like a pink shimmer. But on the lid, as you can see, it's not just a pink shimmer. It actually has a lot of blue in it, like a silvery pinky blue. And of course it pulls more of the color that you put it next to. It's just a really cool shade. And it's not an expected formula either. It's quite light and sheer. Back with the Beach Hue and into the color Sanctuary, I'm just reinforcing a little bit of that and tapping it over a bit where the colors overlap. So that's that's 4 of the colors that I've used right there. And now I have plans to put the other 2 on my lower lash line. I'm taking quite a small and pinched blending brush. It's also a little bit dense and rough. I'm going into Mermaid Scale. And after I've loaded my brush, I will spray it. This is going to start the lower lash line. And I have a small pinched brush because I want to control where the shadow lands. I'm spraying it because I want to control where the shadow stays or doesn't land. So here is Mermaid Scale, and I'm going to place this starting at my inner corner lower lash line and just gently drag it like on most of the lower lash line. I love this color. You'll have to check out my Oden's Eye playlist. I will link that above for you, and I can card it below in the description box also, since this is an Oden's Eye themed video. My Oden's Eye playlist has every video I've made using Oden's Eye palettes. Oden's Eye is my favorite brand, so there are a lot of videos in that playlist. This Sea Talk palette is definitely my favorite of the 3. Now with this same brush, I'm going back into Planet Spirit. And actually, no, I think I'll use a different brush. I think I'll just use a blending brush. This is slightly larger tip. It's also rounded. And that's okay. I'm going into the shade Kindred, which I don't think I've used yet. And I'm going to spray it as well. Kindred I'm placing on my outer corner, blending into the blue shimmer and then blending out into the pink matte. Ooh. Oh, the blue and purple look so pretty together. So that's quite colorful. Do I like it? Do I like it? I don't know. With this same small blending brush, I'm going back into Best Buds. I will spray it again, and I'm going to use this as an inner corner highlight right here. This will tie in the green shimmer Best Buds up here and the blue shimmer from Sea Talk. I prefer a matte inner corner highlight, but a really nice Oden's Eye shimmer is not a bad thing either. I do hear my children waking up. I'm going to go off camera and catch up the other side really quick. I'll be right back. All right, here is the look all said and done. In my waterline, I just used white, and I put on some mascara. I did a winged eyeliner, and then on my lips, I'm wearing the ColourPop lip oil in the shade Hey. That's everything. I don't have a highlighter on my face. I usually enjoy putting on a highlighter. In fact, I just bought a highlighter palette. This is the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So there are 6 highlighters in here, and I was excited to use it today, but then by the time I finished this eye look, I was like, too much sparkle. I don't love the eye look, because it is far too shimmer heavy. I prefer matte. In fact, I would prefer all matte over all shimmer. My ideal eye look would be all mattes and 1 or 2 shimmers. So the fact that this look involves 4 shimmers and 2 mattes, it's a little bit overboard for me. However, that being said, I like the look as far as the colors. I just think it's a little bit too reflective, but I think the look itself, as far as the colors and the placement and how they worked together and everything, I think all of that is nice. It's simply a matter of being a little bit too sparkly, but I do really like it aside from that. I think the colors are pretty. I think the 3 palettes work together pretty well. Again, that's why I bought all 3, expecting to use them together. So I've had a good time with this video. I'm surprised that my children actually let me film it, because I try to film earlier in the morning. It doesn't always happen, and with my 3-month-old, her sleep schedule's been off, so she was up 4 times last night, and by the time 4 or 5 a.m. rolled around and I was ordinarily interested in getting out of bed to do an eye look, I was just tired and I wanted to go back to sleep. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember to check out Jessi's channel, check out Jessi's video. It's going to be great, whatever she does. I hope you will consider liking and subscribing if you want to see more stuff like this, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!